Everybody who hated the Bible, I want you to pay attention to this very, very carefully, as I will talk about the root cause of what is happening in Bangladesh. The Indian Prime Minister, since the independence, do not have the courage, my friend, to fix a problem called Kashmir issue. Since the independence, I mean, if that issue had been fixed, today there would not be a Hindu being burnt alive in Bangladesh, and we don't know, we're not sure what the future holds for this country. I mean, like, these guys have some 80 plus years, leader, somebody sitting in a post there trying to manage these crowds, and indirectly many people say he is actually the fellow who is actually inciting all this, releasing terrorist organizations that have connections with the Pakistan, which have connections with the Kashmir issue, and which the Indian leadership had failed to address. And the reason they couldn't do this, let me just compare this entire scenario with what happened in Europe and how those nations could actually live together. Don't tell me that they're Christian countries and they, my friend, of course they are Christian, but prior to that they were something else. The point that I'm trying to address here is, the faith that Bible installs in the mind of a citizen that leads them to tackle problems and address, challenges and fix them. Again, it's all the leadership thing that I'm talking about. And this entire belt that when we are looking at, we have masses of people, population everywhere. Bangladesh lives in a very tiny land but thickly populated, 3 times highly populated, a nation dying, I'm saying. And those of you know the history of it, Indira Gandhi managed to see this nation become independent, free from the Pakistan, and now Pakistan is trying to find their roots back and make peace and then get together, and then all of that, while it is the failure of the Indian leadership to take care of one problem that has been there. Had there been a leader who was focused on this and fixed this, and I'm looking at why aren't there commercial relationships across the borders. Across the borders you have Bangladesh one side and Pakistan other side. Pakistan forever painted as an enemy. For the vote bank politics, BJP turns to Pakistan. All of this, the reason I'm addressing it is, when you begin to hate the Bible that actually installs into you and had already installed that faith, it's called Judeo-Christian faith, my friend, that was made public in the 16th century and began to deal problem after problem after problem, and began to build a modern world that we live today. Period. You cannot deny the facts. It is because of that same Bible that gave these leaders the faith that is necessary, because they were following Jesus, who told them, you understand, who told them, I'm like, I just wonder, I'm like, how come that this is missing in the church today? Do you understand? These leaders were, following the master who told them all things are possible. You understand? These guys are the disciples of Jesus. And it is Jesus, you understand, who is known as the Lion of tribe of Judah. And the quality of lion is when lion looks at bigger animal, looks like it says, hey, that's lunch coming. So that was the kind of attitude, that was the kind of faith that was installed into this leadership. Therefore, they were able to handle that stuff. Understand? When a fellow caused World War I, there was somebody who's come with solution, United Nations. World War II. Understand? It has always been the Bible. And absence of that Bible, especially in the Southeast region, Southeast Asia, or in the Asian continent, my friend. You see, if the problems remain, then the Bible is absent. You understand? If the Bible present, the problems should vanish. That's how it has been. That's how it will always be. Because the master was going, to a burial ground after the body is been buried for 3 days and was decomposing it. Do you understand? And Jesus goes there and then rises the dead body back to the life, declaring that all things are possible. Everybody who reads the Bible, has that installation of faith, eyes of understanding being opened. Do you understand? Now look at this reason that is here. I'm talking about, the European continent and the North American continent. And I'm talking about the faith that the Bible gave them to become most powerful countries in terms of whatever, economy, might, quality of life, education. They in fact had become so blessing to the world that it had been the Europe that came up with the idea that education for all in the whole world. The missionaries carried that concept, began to build schools and hospitals, and everybody know, all of us know. Understand? In fact, William Carey worked in much of Bangladesh, and Bangladesh is dying today. Bangladesh is on fire. Bangladesh is going through horrible times. I'm standing for the Hindu community. Life lost is life lost, man. That's not what my Bible says. Bible values life, period. Because you're made in God's image. You understand? If only Bangladesh embraces the Bible that gives, the truth. And if only India, adopts and embrace Bible that gives them the invincible faith to take on all these challenges that are. You see, look at this apathetic, the mindset each one of the prime ministers had in India. They were continuously, we were the people who were running away from the problems, while Jesus walks to the problem, walks to a burial chamber. That's the difference. Hey, everybody who hates the Bible, get this. That's Jesus who walks to the problem, who walks to the impossible situation. I believe it is Holland, who had built some system that could, protect them from the imminent cyclones that would regularly happen. I believe that is the country that had a lot of canals and all of that. The reason I'm talking about is Bangladesh is the 9th in ranking, which is facing natural disasters. By 2050, I believe, parts of Bangladesh are going to be vanished into the ocean. There are statistics. And a nation of 170 million people, they're all made in God's image. Human beings, made in God's image. Whether it is Hindu, is burned. Church must respond to that. Church is living, some sort of a cave mentality. Man, come on, we know we have come out of the caves. Long time back, human beings have come out of the caves, time to get out of the caves. Understand? This nation can be built in 10 years. Systematically what? On the foundation, that will establish this nation. 77% of them are the, literates, and then there is still 23%. Educate them on the right mindset, on the biblical values. My friend, they will build that country. Because the Bible talks about equality of all human beings. Sin issue is being taken care. Truth issue is being settled. That there is an eternal truth. You understand? And equality issue is taken care. And human issue is taken care. Bible clearly defines who is a human being. Bible doesn't say you came from head to... No, it's not nonsense. There is nothing of that says. It's all about equality, my friend, that builds this modern world. It just takes 5 to 10 years, entire South Asian countries to be organized. These large populations that are dying, in poverty, all that they require is a solid foundation that will build these countries, which is the Bible. Which is the Bible. Which is the Bible, because the Bible tells you that you are made in the very image of God, unlike any other religious book. Understand? And therefore, when God could create the universe, you are also placed here to go ahead and create. Nobody is stopping you. Understand? That had never been there in the minds of the prime ministers who lived in India, ruled India. Had it been there, they would have taken care of the Kashmir issue long time back and broken every wall that is separating all these countries, and then made bridges instead of walls. Commercial merchandises could have been there across these countries. Economies could have been growing, but people lacked that faith to look at the possibilities, look at impossibility and say, hey, this can be removed. Both sides are people, man. Both sides are people, made in God's image. And then your perspective, your nonsensical worldview tells you other side are enemies. And then every time you need some words, you talk about them. And then that mindset need to go to, Bay of Bengal. You understand? Enough. We have problems here. Enough. Understand? It is the Bible that need to be welcomed. You understand? And then when you let that build the countries, you understand, the nations can be built on the solid foundation. Amen. May God bless you. If you hate the Bible, it's time that you change your opinion to it. Otherwise, God help you. Amen. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.